Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight in corporate filings. Today, we're diving into a 10K report, and let me tell you, this company is in a race against time. It's all about finding the money to bring their one big drug to market before the clock runs out or before the competition overtakes them. So let's see what this report reveals. This is a Form 10K, which is basically a company's annual report card to the SEC, laying out all the important details about its business and finances for the past year. The company we are looking at today is Achieve Life Sciences. Achieve Life Sciences is laser-focused on tackling the nicotine addiction problem. They've got a drug called cytisinicline, and it's their main weapon in this fight against smoking and vaping. They are specifically targeting folks who want to quit. You can see the market opportunity is enormous. The company claims that in the US alone, nearly 30 million adults smoke and millions more are hooked on e-cigarettes. They are also excited about the FDA giving cytisinicline a breakthrough therapy designation, which is supposed to speed up the approval process. Now, it's all hinging on getting the FDA to approve cytisinicline as a smoking cessation treatment. They're planning to ask for permission from the FDA, which they call filing an NDA, by the middle of next year. If approved, this drug could be the first new prescription medication for smoking cessation in almost 20 years. Achieve gets cytisinicline from a company called Sopharma, which is based in Europe. Sopharma is their exclusive supplier, so Achieve is heavily dependent on them to manufacture the drug. If something goes wrong with Sopharma, Achieve's plans could be seriously disrupted. The FDA wants to see long-term safety data, so Achieve is running a year-long study called ORCA-OL to collect this information. They've already enrolled almost 500 people in the study, and they expect to have enough data for the FDA very soon. The goal is to show the FDA that they are taking the drug's safety seriously, and that they understand its long-term effects. To be approved, the company is running food effect Phase 1 trials to find the best way for the drug to be absorbed into the body, regardless of whether you've just eaten or not. This is good since it shows that the drug's effects won't be changed by whether someone has eaten or not. The prior data looks good. We can see that the Phase 2b ORCA-1 trial showed some statistically significant results for those getting the treatment versus the placebo in terms of reducing the median number of cigarettes smoked by about 74 to 80%. The Phase 3 trials also look fairly well tolerated, with the side effects looking manageable. For example, ORCA-2 placebo group had an insomnia rates of 4.8% versus 8.6% and 9.6% in the two cytisinicline groups. Same idea with abnormal dreams, with the rate being 3.0% in the placebo group versus 8.2% and 7.8% for the drug groups. There's a huge market for this, and Achieve believes it is differentiated, as it can serve as the novel alternative to the current smoking cessation medicines on the market, but do the numbers agree? If Achieve gets the FDA's approval, they will need to pay Sopharma $2 million as part of a share purchase agreement. They also have potential milestone payments they could be on the hook for, but mostly revenue-based royalties. It is worth noting a high-level risk that they bring up, which is anti-corruption, since the company has relationships with third parties that might have interactions with government officials in ways that might be seen as violating anti-corruption laws. Achieve doesn't own the main patent to cytisinicline. They are taking active steps to protect what is theirs. They're building an intellectual property portfolio around cytisinicline, focusing on dosing methods, derivatives, and formulations, hoping to create barriers for competitors. This could give them a stronger position in the market. They admit that competition is fierce in the pharmaceutical world. They're up against major players and smaller companies all vying for a piece of the smoking cessation market. Many competitors have way more resources. They recognize the importance of their employees and emphasize employee engagement, development, training, acquisition, and retention, and well-being. Let's get to the money part. Achieve's financial situation is a mixed bag. They've got cash equivalents, and marketable securities worth around $34.4 million, but a massive accumulated deficit of over $205 million. For 2024, they lost almost $40 million and used $30 million in operations. It's pretty clear they need more money, but can they get it? And it looks like they've got significant debt that could impair their flexibility and access to capital. If they cannot pay off their debts, there will be issues. Checking out the balance sheet, there are about $36 million in current assets versus $6.7 million in current liabilities, so the company isn't doing too badly near term. They seem to have a large increase in prepaid expenses to $2.1 million. Interestingly, as the interest rates have gone up, Achieve is making money from this, with their total interest income going up, so that's a good thing. However, that's offset by an increase in interest expense, which is associated with the convertible debt. To that point, what is the company doing to move forward and what's important to them? Well, they emphasize the ORCA-OL trial, which is intended to provide safety data that the FDA needs for an approval decision. This tells us they are focused on addressing the agency's concerns and moving closer to launch. Now, the company seems to have been dinged by an estimate of $0.6 million in estimating the share purchase agreement with Sopharma, which is not the best sign. This is not good since it suggests a lot of uncertainty over the product approval. Achieve also highlights the ongoing pressure to lower drug costs in the United States, including the Inflation Reduction Act. This creates uncertainty for them since it could limit how much they can charge for cytisinicline if it gets approved. Something interesting I noticed is that if there is a disruption in raw ingredients for cytisinicline, that could have negative impacts on their business. Finally, Achieve mentions the risks of conducting trials in countries outside the United States, like Europe. This involves additional regulatory hurdles and costs, which could delay the drug's approval and commercialization. Now, let's take a step back and assess the overall picture. Achieve's future hinges on cytisinicline, which comes with tons of risk. The competition is huge, potential manufacturing and supply issues, regulatory landscape shifts could all negatively impact them. However, they also seem to have been taking the right steps to reduce those risks and are on the right path. So, the company has to execute their plan by securing additional financing, getting cytisinicline approved and launched on the market to finally execute and realize the big potential payoff. If that doesn't happen, I don't see them making it. This could either be huge or go to zero. Thanks for watching and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with your take on Achieve Life Sciences.